Hello and welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find, and with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them. Okay. Hello everybody. Why are all your net connections working? Well, mine's not.
Your connection on the stream's good, but everybody's choppy in their individual little boxes.
This is it. It's very annoying.
We're jump chopping. Fine.
There. Oh, I don't know whether to risk this or not. Or whether to,
Restart it, send me the stream key, and I'll fucking host it, and you can do the questions. You'll just not have your floaty head.
Yeah, go on then.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Back shortly.
That was quick.
We'll be back.
Oh, you can send me the key, Dave. You can just send me the key and hang it. Okay, the MathPig network.
Have you tried unplugging it and plugging it back in?
No. Just ask the host to hit the unmute button, and it might work.
So how much of what we've said that I've said has been heard?
Not a goddamn
Nothing.
thing.
Alright, nothing.
See, I'm used to being on the other side of this and watching Manda talk.
What? Oh, watching me talk and not have audio because Matt.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I know.
We were rushed. Fuck off. Right. It's all back now.
Hello, everybody.
You know, I could be sleeping right now.
You could be sleeping right now. I highly doubt it. You'd be listening and we'd be shouting.
No,
you awake.
no, I don't like the show that much.
Right, today we have got with us Math Dave. She's paused or said hello or not. We've got Mr. MathPig.
I'm going stupid. Sorry. Apologies.
We've got Godless Scummer. We've got fucking hell. We've got Jenni Moonbeam.
Peace.
And we've got intellectual iconoclasm.
I don't know how many questions we've gotten through, but this has been the best damn stream yet.
Hey, the YouTube stream isn't working.
You need to refresh. I guess I can't breathe. Right. Hello, everyone.
There it is.
First question. Not that you haven't already heard it once before. I will be a question soon.
Yeah, what the fuck does that mean?
It's scrolling text.
Question 753. What is your favorite eccentric house decoration?
What the fuck is considered an eccentric house decoration?
I can give an example.
Go on.
My favorite eccentric house decoration is my 1960s vintage shrunken head.
Nice.
I have a gamer friend who has a... Sorry?
No, go on ahead, Ike. Go on ahead.
Oh, I have a gamer friend who also Jewish has Shalom Y'all in cross stitch in Old Hebrew on the wall.
I love it.
No, I don't think I've got anything. I don't think I've got anything massively eccentric here. Hold on. Let's have a look. To hands, probably this thing is Death on a Motorcycle, which is weird because I think it's like Terry Pratchett's Death, and I never really got into his books.
Oh, Nicolas Cage.
So, Death on a Motorcycle.
Nice.
Ike? No, you did Ike. MathPig.
As Jenny mentioned, skull. I have an actual goat skull from the Mourne Mountains up in the attic, but it's not on decoration. It used to be on a shelf in my bedroom, but then we actually go and get a house and grow up, and you can't have that stuff on shelves anymore.
Why not? You used to pick that stuff always when I was camping.
People look weird at you when you have a collection of skulls on your shelves.
They're human, maybe.
Well, they're all mock-ups of humans except the two goat skulls I have.
Goat skulls are cool.
Yep.
I think they look quite cool.
Or like a
Do they have
ram
horns
even.
on
It's
them?
more a ram. It's got the whole curly horns and everything.
Oh,
Just tell them you're a
want one of those.
multi-species phrenologist.
I've always wanted a real life bison skull. You know, a good full adult male. They're huge.
Have the whole head on your wall. Just the skull.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know.
Amanda?
I'm gonna take a picture of it, but it's hard to see because it's on the side of my house. It's this, like, it's hard to. But it's this really big butterfly that hangs on the rain gutter right up on top of my garage. It's really pretty.
Have you thought about untying the string so it can fly away?
It's all rusted now, but it looks prettier rusted. It used to be blue. But yeah, that or I have a lot of Delft because we're Dutch. That's not really eccentric. It's just everywhere.
I'm trying to work out whether or not a giant R2D2 in the corner is eccentric.
Not a decoration though; it's a toy. I was thinking that I was going to say either the Millennium Falcon or the R2D2 or the AT-AT or the TIE Fighter.
They're not toys; they're collectibles.
Technically, as they are for ornamental purposes, aren't they? Not rather than for.
Jenny, Delft is a type of pottery. It's a Dutch thing. It's like blue and white flower type of. I don't know how to describe it. It's from a specific town in Holland that they make this stuff, and it's very Dutch. We just have a lot of it because my family's from Holland. So
it's a powdered thing that's made in Holland. Did the ingredients arrive via Colombia by any chance?
no, it's powder or not? Yeah, it's pottery, not powder. I said pottery, didn't I? So we have like lamps and different lots of stuff. So, but yeah. I like
Here in Wisconsin, we use different things to make lampshades and ceramics.
Doc says it's a functioning clock that's melted like the Dali painting.
Oh, I've seen those. Those are very cool.
That's cool.
Santi says,
A friend of mine had one of those, and we dropped some acid. Damn thing straightened out.
You're on acid when like Dali's paintings start to look sensible.
Mm-hmm.
Santi says, I've got a rat skull, a cat skull, and a dog skull. All former pets, all died of old age. My wife believes them. I know they died after they died. Right.
Oh, I once thought about having I had this very large German Shepherd. She was beautiful. My favorite dog in my life. And I considered for a time having her made into a German Shepherd skin rug after she passed, but then I found that it would be too expensive.
There's an American taxidermist who will put your pet on a pillow or mount them so that, and you can put them in the corner or whatever. And she gets so many death threats every single day. She gets like 10 of them because what she does is such an abomination.
Why?
They're dead.
Exactly.
They're animals and they're dead.
I've really considered saving up and cloning Pot with that Korean pet cloning company.
Yeah, but I thought he was a cunt.
He is a cunt.
But it'd be a lot better behaved when it's
Oh no, Dave, right? He's lying on the floor last night, right? And we mention his name, and he lifts his head up and he looks at you, and the tail starts to wag. And then the more you talk, the faster the tail wags. And I said, "That's a good boy, wag your tail." And he just stopped and looked straight at me and went, "No."
I still like it when he rubs his balls all over here. That was really, really
ew.
slowly.
Thanks for that. You want to finish the answer though? It's just he loves it when you rub his balls all
whatever
over.
gets you off, man.
really-
I'm not.
He does it
I'm
really,
judging.
really slowly and eye contact with you the entire time.
Oh.
Right, next question. Apparently, MathPig wants me to be organised. Question 754. Did you ever let your mother count down to 0? What happened?
What?
What?
Did you
Like
never
when
have
she
threats
says,
from your
"I'm
mother?
warning you," and she starts counting down.
If you aren't here, by the time I get to 0, I'm gonna fucking do horrible things to you.
Okay. I've had that threat. Nothing fucking happens.
It was a bluff.
It was a fucking bluff. I fell for it a few times, but after a little while, so I'm going to test the waters here. See what I can get away with.
About the time I got taller than her and weighed more than her, all of a sudden that shit stopped.
Yeah.
You say that and you think it's funny, but the problem is that my kid is taller than me now, and he thinks he can do whatever the fuck he wants to because of it. Not heavier than me though.
Amanda,
Have you made it to 0?
Probably can.
No, I don't actually do the counting down thing. I suck at this discipline shit. I really, really do.
My point is, once the threat of violence was no longer issuable, the threats stopped coming.
He was never worried about violence for me. But
That's so I mean, but then I was definitely of an age where the threats of a bit of corporal punishment were probably used a little bit more, should we say? But in general, but yeah, it does get to a certain point when you're a little bit too big for them to credibly threaten you. So
That didn't work in my house. Whenever that happened and I got bigger than my mother, then there was a row or a discussion like that. The very first time she pinned me by the throat against the wall and made me know that size does not matter.
You've never met an Irish mother.
No.
I'll just say mine tried that. It didn't when I was 14. It didn't work out too good for her, but I don't want to get into that because I'm not proud of that.
Sammy says, I tested my mum and she broke the broom handle over my back. Never let them get to 0, kids. Sammy says, Go on.
What's that? You know they're bluffing when you know when they're bluffing when they're counting down to 0 and they get to like 2, then they say 1.5, and you're like, then you know it's a bluff.
Santi says, my mum counted to 3. That's when it all went black.
Yeah.
Doc said she launched, of course. Orla says, my kid's taller than me and he still does what I ask.
I was a very fearful child and easily managed, and Mom would never even hit 95, and I was on my knees begging for mercy and doing whatever she said. I love my mommy.
Yeah. MathPig says my mother never
and was
bluffed.
frightened.
Frightened. Wes says, never as a parent get a threat that you wouldn't go through with was my motto. Sooner or later, they will push it and you'll end up a pushover. Yeah, I mean, how many parents do turn this car around and go home?
My mother took us to the orphanage and parked outside it and told us to get out of the car. You know, you've heard this story. She did not bluff.
It's a good story, though.
I had grandparents that would babysit for us from time to time, and that was their threat. It was a very upsetting threat. They would either threaten to dig a big hole out in the backyard, or take us to the orphanage and leave us there. And
On the flip side, MathPig, she didn't turn around and say, "Get out! I'm bringing you back."
I can always remember my grandfather when I was very young, threatening a friend of mine with a shotgun. It was like, it wasn't loaded. He would never have fucking done it, but I will say this friend of mine was a right little fucking shit, and probably if anyone did need a scare straight, it was him. He kind of got it. But yeah, I mean, look, it sounds like I make it sound like they're really bad fucking people here. They weren't at all. But
these are the rare occasions that you were naughty.
Well, I wasn't in this case. This is one of my friends who got away with fucking murder, like supposed to be at home or himself or whatever. And or actually, I think more to the case. No, he was probably actually. He is a good case in study. I think that he was bloody hit or whatever at home and rebelled more. So, but I think my grandfather upped the ante a little bit with this nipper. But I would just say that because I'm making it sound like my grandfather and that was a terrible person. He wasn't. He was a fucking brilliant guy. Honestly, that was a kind of an occasion where it was. Yes, it was not loaded. There was no way he would have done it, but he was like, yeah, other nipper didn't know that, though.
No. Sammy says, my dad, on the other hand, only had to speak and we jumped. There was no counting. You got one chance. Richard says, pre-count completion, you got your regular beating. Get to 0, and the beating might not end until her arm is tired. Meganut says, I lost all the top buttons on my shirt. She would grab my collar and twist and bring me down to her level. You see, so I'm talking about the fact that we have nice parents now. Santi says, whenever my boy misbehaves, I make him run laps around the block. I wouldn't dare hit him. Didn't be any good when I was a child. Ricardo says,
I think I was just going to say, no more seriously, I think perhaps over the last sort of generation or two, we've realised that it is counterproductive to hit kids. You know, it does not fucking do any good. But I think
there have been scientific studies to prove that it not only doesn't do anything,
we know it makes it worse now. We know it's not.
Aside from the fact that I come from
obviously I come from an age group before me or whatever. That thought it was generally accepted. Yeah, kid steps out of line, you give him a clap around the back of the head, kind of thing. It's just
and
that was just the times. But
and saying that, like I'm telling this story about my mother and pinning me up against. My mom didn't beat me. She wasn't a thumper or anything like that. But at the end of the day, you still need to put you need to make sure that the kid knows that you're the boss.
Yeah, it was. I think there was that fine line between. Is it that fine line between like stamp finding out who the boss was, you being put in your place or whatever.
Well, boss is maybe a bad phrase. You have to respect your parents. Yeah. Respect would be better, but yeah.
But that was the mindset anyway at the time. It was just what it was. But I'm not excusing it. But
are you teaching the kid to respect or to fear?
Well, that's the difference.
Yeah.
So my mother never did the whole counting down thing, but my parents, we never got beaten either. But they had a paddle that they hung over the stairs. So whenever we would get in trouble, they would just point at it like it was a threat. Although they never used it, not fucking once. So.
If I had siblings, I would. Well, I do have a sibling. If that was in my house, I'd have stolen it and hid it.
Children understand fear. It's one of the motivators we have. Happiness and fear, they drive brain development. But you should make your child afraid of bad things, not afraid of you. You should not be a bad thing. It should be about, get your fucking ass over here now before you fall off that fucking cliff.
Yeah, my wee girl went to put her hand in the fucking fire one time, and like me and her mother at the time just screamed at her, and then she started to cry and stuff. But we obviously went over and sat her and was like, "We're not shouting at you because of what you did. Don't put your fucking hand in the fire." Like,
we lost Dave.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't need him.
Take over. Right, we
need the next question. Kaz is in the back room. Kaz will post the next question, and Manda can be the quizmaster.
Oh, he's back.
You didn't finish reading the stuff in the chat. If you were going to move on.
Well,
you spent way too much time on chat answers, Dave.
I was just going to quote Rowdy Roddy Piper. Just when you think you know the answers, we change the questions.
Yes.
My parents were not abusive. Physically, they did not beat us on some regular basis, and Dad and Mom didn't get drunk or anything like that and beat the kids. They barely drank at all for the most part. But anyways, for discipline, the swatting and abuse that we did get was fairly nasty when it did occur. It was usually with a nice thin belt and a bare ass, but that stopped by the time I was in fourth grade. It's like they figured it out in the background, and just stopped doing corporal discipline.
The studies they've done on even just like the light spanking of toddlers and stuff, just swatting like that, shows that it teaches children that they do not have bodily autonomy. It's actually incredibly counterproductive to them learning to grow on their own. So
you mean like how it is in America?
I never would have hit Angel anyway. I'm not that kind of person, but I also read a bunch of shit about it and learned how it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. And Ike is right. You don't need your kid to fear you. So sometimes I wish at this point, him being 16, I kind of wish he did, but.
Next question, Dave.
I know, I should do it before I disappear again.
Wait, you didn't answer, though.
What was the question? Oh, my mother never got to 0.
Every fucking time, Dave.
I have an excuse this time.
I guess that's true. Well.
Right. Question 755.
No! You did.
What? I answered!
No, you didn't.
He did.
I did!
What did you say?
He said she never got to 0.
Oh, she never. Okay. Gotcha.
I have to be honest, she might have got to 0. I can't fucking remember. As far as I remember, she didn't. But that doesn't mean much. Right. Question 755. What work of fiction do you feel has most impact on your feelings about religion?
Not to be a dick, but the Bible.
I was wondering if someone would say that.
I'm not saying that the Bible is whole cloth fiction. I'm one of those agnostics who say there could be some divine inspiration if something divine exists, but humans have fucked it up so much that it can't be valid. It's self-contradictory in so many ways that it is outright fictional in so many cases. And that but they said this here and that there sharpened my critical thinking about books or about religious texts in general. So I would have to say the Bible.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Amanda?
don't know. Get back to me. Let me think about it.
Not helpful. That's
Oh,
pig.
you never answer.
That's pig.
I don't know. There's well, Jim Dodge, Stone Junction, as I say, is one of my favorite books because of there is sort of a subline story in it that makes me think of religion, but not really had an influence or an impact on me.
Right.
I don't want to give the storyline away, but there's things in the story that make me think about religion, but I've already had my thoughts on them, not really had an impact or.
You could say like the Stranger, because it kind of made me. Yeah, and not that I was, I was never actually religious or ever believed, but that kind of cemented the whole, nihilism thing for me, which I guess could impact my feelings about religion. I don't know.
Mine would definitely be Of Mice and Men by Steinbeck. Not that it did not have a lot of overt religion in it at all, but even at the age I saw it, I first experienced Of Mice and Men in 6th grade, and I already knew by that point that the South meant religion, Bible Belt, all that stuff, and so it was like a presumed thing that there were many forces that were religiously based, and it just angered the hell out of me that people who professed anger would also treat Lenny so badly and ultimately kill him. It would definitely a contributing factor to this religion's bullshit.
I've got runners up. Sorry.
Second place goes to
The Ender Saga and God damn it. The Dune series.
I don't think I've ever read the Dune series, actually.
Just some dusty old books.
Yep, lost it again.
Which one's me? Right.
Have I answered? I know I snarkily put in the chat like when I was at also why I put the Bible, but I mean yes. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think there's any one thing in particular. I mean I could say obviously some of Douglas Adams' books could argue. But I don't know. It's just maybe a lot of different sort of things that have affected me in a small way whatsoever. But I don't know that really any particular work of fiction is like stood out to me as something that helped form my views or whatever, or my feelings about religion.
Sammy says The Clandestine Prophecy by Richard Bach. Can't think when I just read sci-fi and horror fiction. I've not anything. Doc says Star Trek. That and lots of other fiction mythology helped me with. It's all made up by people. You see, I was going to say the Hyperion series, which no one knows, so that obviously doesn't help. But fine, point at you then. But June has got to come a close second, especially the later books. Nanda?
No, I just meant I know the Hyperion series, so just
No, I know. Right, did anyone not answer when I said
Nobody knows it but me because I'm super smart and everybody's dumb.
it's not a fucking super smart book? It's just a not heard of book.
Not, but still. Kitty. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's but no, I think probably I could more easily point to works of fiction that have impacted my views on things like politics than I could religion. I'd say probably so
entirely. But although saying that, I think most things that would influence you about politics would probably influence you about religion as well.
Yeah, probably, but but I couldn't.
True.
I couldn't say. What I mean is, I couldn't say any one particular thing that has really stood out to me on like the religion question. Now, when it comes to politics, I could definitely say the TV series The Wire definitely had a big impact on the way I view the world, politically. But
Philippa Gregory does a series of fictional books about like the Tudors and stuff, and but it's based mostly in historical facts, and she just embellishes a little bit. It's really interesting to go through and see, how religion kind of tore apart your country because some dude wanted to divorce his wife and just completely fucked everything up.
I know.
So.
But it's not like this again. That's one of those weird things I find about history in general. Though it's not like it happened then. It was much longer coming.
Yeah.
It's just that was the significant event that made it the trigger, and that's the thing we all remember.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like it was this schism that came out of nowhere.
It absolutely wasn't.
The separation between the Catholics and the Protestants at that point anyway was starting to grow, but he flip-flopped back and forth because he kept getting a different wife that had a different belief anyway. The thing with that and is I don't think Henry VIII really at any time his life. I mean, we had this so-called Reformation under him, but which was supposedly the Church of England is supposedly like a Protestant church. Yet, if you really look at it, it's still very much in that Roman Catholic kind of mold.
But the Church of England existed before then.
Yeah, but I mean, effectively, all the only thing that effectively really happened was that effectively the church was nationalised in Britain. Effectively,
yes, and he became the Pope,
and the king became the Pope. But really, a lot of other stuff. It was always like, I mean, because you remember a lot of the ideas that had come in because they'd existed from Germany, like the time, obviously Luther a few years before that, and so on. It didn't just come out of nowhere. But I mean, but there was definitely, it was a growing movement, and yes, okay, maybe the right people. Probably Anne Boleyn, and I'd say possibly Thomas Cromwell as well, were the right people in the right place to get in the king's ear about things like this. But look what happened to both of them later on.
When the Anglicans and the Catholics and the Eastern Orthodox will exchange priests with one another and acknowledge each other's ordinations, are you really a separate church?
Not really. Yeah.
The point is who's in charge, and that's all it is. It's who's in charge of which region. They're basically countries now.
Some cunt somewhere else.
I have an addition or a change in mind. There was this TV series, since we're talking about TV, there was this TV series that I saw when I was a kid. Maybe you've seen it also, Davy and Goliath.
Oh, I've heard of this. Is this the one with the talking dog?
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I've
seen the piss taken out of it.
Yeah.
Oh, as it should be. It was by the Lutheran Church of America. I don't know which division or synod or whatever, which one. But I was young enough that I still had this God-fearing sense in me and all that kind of stuff. But the only one of them that I clearly remember, the lesson I drew from it was don't reuse a cotter pin. So I don't know how effective it was.
But I'd say it's been less. Again, with works of fiction, it's been less works of fiction. Sometimes like people like comedians and that have had a real effect on the way I view religion or whatever. Like you listen to a bit of like George Carlin, Bill Hicks, even like going back to the 70s, the Irish comic Dave Allen. Listen to the way they talk about religion, and you realise what they're saying. It actually makes a lot of fucking sense.
Not wrong.
No, none of it. Yeah.
Right. Next question. Down to the level of this panel. Question 756. Would you rather call your grandmother every day and answer her tech question? Oh, fucking hell. I changed this question so it read right and then I've copied the wrong question in. Would you rather call your grandmother every day and answer her tech questions, or call your grandmother and hear her getting off?
Oh, come on, tech questions.
Tech questions.
Both my grandmothers are dead, so.
All of my.
You have to assume they're alive.
Yeah, I certainly don't want to think about them in the. I just do not want to think about them in that way. I'm sorry. So, I'll answer tech questions.
You'll answer tech questions.
You know that I'm a fairly bawdy person, correct?
A what-y person?
Bawdy. I can tell a good dirty joke. I can tell a good dirty joke with the best of them. I'm a grandma.
Oh look! I not that my grandparents were above the blooming lewd joke. I mean, but that was more my grandfather. I've got to say, would have been.
Yes, it's about your grandmother.
But the I don't want. I don't want to think of them in that.
Would you like to see my vibrator?
Jen, it wouldn't have much an effect on me personally because I'm not thinking about my own personal grandparents in this scenario.
Apparently, we have to have a Jen on stream that shows their vibrator.
It's
one of the things
that requirement in the contract.
T's and D's.
I think in this community there's far too many dildos on streams as it is. So.
No one's stopping you putting yours on.
MathPig and I were obviously raised very decently. We don't want to,
I walk about the house naked all the time, Jeff. Just not appropriate for YouTube.
Yeah, but you don't broadcast that on YouTube, do we?
Occasionally, when he forgets.
On StreamYard with me.
I heard that YouTube was going to open a new division just for people who wanted to do all their stuff in the nude. It's going to be called YouBoob.
Okay.
I think they should.
Oh, it says, hey, it's not like I'm on stream buzzing away.
Buzz.
I would have to say answer the tech questions because one, it's not revolting, and two, it keeps you up on common tech, which is a useful skill.
The tech they've usually got is old.
And the same question could be the same question over and over and over again.
I'm actually saying it could be a really the catch-22 in this is what if the tech question is how do I operate this vibrator?
Wi-Fi based.
I made the password
Try
to my
unplugging
grandma's
it and plugging
computer.
it
What you
back
just said, you know, is that you would call your grandmother because she keeps you up.
How do you make this remote vibrate ad work?
This is the
Just
number for tech
Just give me
support.
the passcode.
Just give me the passcode. Can you test it for me, dear? Nerdy says, "Hi, Granny. Is that the same dildo as last week?" Garnet, the world needs to know what are your answers. Sammy says, "My grandmother was 98 in 2014. Her tech questions would be changing the element in her gas water heating in her bathroom."
Hey, nerdy, just no fan fiction on this one, please.
No. MathPig.
Oh, I would take the tech questions. That's definitely for sure. Even though my granny has no clue, as I was saying, I made the password to her computer, the address that she spent like 50 years of her life in. And she rang me up to ask what it was. And I was like, I don't fucking know. You lived there. It's like... old people in technology.
I thankfully, that's one thing my grandparents never got was a computer. I don't think even me or my stepfather would have liked to explain that to them.
She wanted to stay in contact with all the grandkids with emails and stuff. It did not work out. We bought her an iPad for Christmas, and on Christmas morning when she opened it, she seen it and goes, "Is this another fucking thing that I have to learn?" And it's, "Yes, Granny, you have to learn how to do this instead."
The thing is, when I get to that age, I am going to be that much of a blooming Luddite as well, because I am kind of like that already. I mean, how long was I on YouTube before I figured out how to fucking live stream? You know? I've been on YouTube like just over 3 years. It took me about 2.5 years to figure out how to live stream.
Amanda.
I mean, if either of them were alive, she could ask me tech questions, but I'm not exactly tech efficient. You could ask either Dave or MathPig.
I have no idea what you're talking about. You are so good on the computer, on the interwebs. You brilliant.
All right, you can give her MathPig's phone number. He can decide whether he wants to do tech questions or listen to her.
Yeah, there we go.
Moving on.
That was scary.
That's
scary because I thought you were actually thinking about that for a moment, MathPig.
No.
You could have improved that question by asking, would you rather answer her tech questions every day, or would you rather read seductive scripts to her so that she could use that vibrator?
Oh.
Doc said, "This question is the only instance I'm glad both my grannies died before I was born." We can find you a surrogate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if she started asking questions about the vibrator, I would start giving her instructions to how to do it in DOS.
Oh, C: enter.
Yep.
Right. Next question. Question 757. Which two different and incompatible animal species would you most like to interbreed in a cruel genetic experiment? And what kind of unholy abomination do you think the union would create?
Pretty sure you've asked this question.
No, it's
We've asked something similar.
It's a
Could you
twist.
repeat it, please?
Can one of the animal species?
Oh wait, I can read it.
Can one of the animal species be human beings?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Oh,
That could be.
If we ever find viable T-Rex DNA, an ostrich, and a T-Rex.
That is odd. There is an odd coincidence there that you won't see till later.
I actually have the perfect answer here. Just to piss off certain young Earth creationists. A crocodile and a duck.
Manda.
I have no idea.
Oh.
Fuck off.
So disappointing.
I'm going to combine a giant spider and a pterodactyl to create the ultimate flying spider.
That's horrible. It is a terrible, terrible thing, and you just gave Dave nightmares for a week.
Yes.
Well, you wanted an unholy abomination.
You mean a
Very
mouse?
true.
Oh. Jenny.
Donald Trump with anything on Earth. That was a joke.
Well, I would say Donald Trump and Trumpans, but we've already got Trumpansies.
Oh, an elephant.
There was
and a
one
flea.
left. Ooh.
An elephant. but
Wait a
that's
minute, an
like
elephant and a what?
A flea, so it can like do that happy thing.
Jumps tall buildings and destroy everything when it lands.
It's a elephant. Yeah, it's an elephant. Going with that.
I'm also just a little bit pissed off as well. Just because I can't one Kent Hovind up with this because you made the question clear that it has to be animal species, so I can't say an elephant and a pine tree. This is a bit annoying.
Sammy says, I want to see what happens when you mix a math pig with an atheist. Do you get a pig theist?
No, you get an agnostic.
How about a math pig and a bad-tempered badger?
You get a fairy pig. Or a pig in a fairy suit.
I've got a clip for Badger, by the way. Look up. I think it's Bill Bailey ripped apart by badgers.
He's not here, but I'll leave it.
He's not here, but-
Bill Bailey.
I have
Hey.
my real answer
Oh.
if you'd like.
Yeah, go on.
I would like to mix a little baby bunny rabbit
Uh-huh.
with a cassowary.
Oh my god,
That was my answer last time.
that is a terrifying prospect.
I don't think I like you. Santi says, a shark and a chihuahua, a bear and a goat, a horse and a gator. Antjer says, a jellyfish and a mosquito. That seems a bit evil. Doc says, a human and a giraffe, which would make a really freaky centaur.
Why don't you just do a horse and a human then? A proper centaur.
Yeah. A proper centaur. But it wouldn't be as freaky or an abomination. Orla says, I want to crossbreed a spider with a bat. What sort of bat? A baseball bat? I quite like crossbreeding spiders with baseball bats. But it has to be one of those social types of spider, so that you wouldn't just get one that would get a whole family unit. That sounds horrific. Something as terrifying as spiders that can fly.
How about a bat and a man?
You mean a man bat?
Or a Batman even. Yeah.
My mind just went to Michael Keaton.
Or a mathematician and a pig.
I'm not that good at math.
Ricardo says a cow and a seagull. Its habitat would be a golf club. Oh, I quite like that. Right. I've lost my questions. Oh! Next question. You're not having flying spiders. They already have fucking spiders that fucking make parachutes and fly around like that. You're not having flying spiders. No circumstances. flying spiders. No flying spiders. Never, ever, ever.
How about a cat and a spider? A spider with 9 lives, Dave.
No, that can't have that either.
How about one of those really cute little jumpy spiders that do that
No.
dance and wiggle their butts
No.
and stuff? They're so cute.
Peacock spiders.
It's too close.
Yeah.
A praying mantis and a spider.
Breed one of those.
So a
with
spider
an
that could
actual
punch
peacock.
you.
You'd
Why
end up
do
with a
people hate
peacock
me?
with 8 drumsticks.
Scorpion spider.
A spider and a Japanese Dungeness crab. They've got a leg span like this. You can't see my hands because they're, beyond the screen, or the camera field.
Uh-huh.
You know they're attached to arms that move. You could always bring them up and show us that way.
So, but this big. They've got like a 5 foot leg span. They're supposed to be tasty as hell.
Oh! Giant tortoise
Are those-
combined with an elephant. Giant tortoises
Yeah,
are meant
try
to
and-
taste really nice. And we can't eat
Try
them
and run
because
that
they
over
are
if you're in your
going
car.
extinct.
I was walking the dog the other day listening to your stream, and all I could hear was you screaming about fucking turtles.
No idea what you're talking about. Wes says elephant and a rhino. All screams that she wants flying spiders. She doesn't want flying spiders. She's lying.
Spider wasp.
Spider wasp. What does Mao Uiu mean? Is
What?
that a curse? I have no idea. Oh, I said it.
It has something to do with having sex with something, but
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Wait. What does it mean? Oh, she thinks it was a typo. How do typos lead to sex?
Folk and fuck.
Why did she run away from that?
How about the house cat and the velvet ant? That way, you can just tell anybody you hate, oh yeah, super friendly, go ahead.
We've had a few suggestions to this one, I think, haven't we? But
We have. I don't think we had a good one.
No, come on. The crocoduck was a good one, Dave. Come on.
A crocodile could be funny.
Yeah.
The pterodactyl spider was very nice as well, I always thought. Yeah.
I will. You second that?
I'd just settle the pterodactyl. All right. Next question. Question 758. Where does leprechaun gold come from?
Lucky Charms box, obviously.
British racist propaganda.
Do you know who wrote this question?
Yes! Yes, I know. I
Who
seen
would-
it on Twitter.
You saw it on Twitter.
Allegedly, Dave.
No. Who would you think at the moment is the most you would think of as the most innocent member of our community?
Granny.
Just sweet and yeah.
It was Granny, really?
Yeah.
It was
pretty
great.
damn much.
She wrote it. She was, I got a question.
See, it's because she's of that older generation where it's okay to be racist.
You see, this was the question I pulled from yesterday. I thought I can't ask that when he's not here. No one else will have an answer.
Wait a minute, leprechaun is racist?
It's more of a like it's a type of fairy from like Celtic folklore, really. But it's been just.
It's
suppose-
more like us taking the piss out of Jesus and
Yeah.
calling him gay.
He
Well, he
wasn't?
was.
He actually,
But my point is, it's a similar mythological thing.
but if you like actually look into like sort of the mythology, Celtic mythology from like Ireland or whatever, leprechauns were not that a common a thing. They but it's sort of like there's something a bit more prominent in later folklore.
But they're magically delicious.
Magically delicious.
The leprechauns are?
What's the difference between a leprechaun and a gnome?
One's better paid than the other. One has to take rent in someone else's backyard, and the other one has a pot of gold and a whole forest to himself.
A gnome has a big parka to stay warm.
Didn't you say you wanted a forest?
Me.
Yes.
I wanted a forest. No, I said before I would maybe, before if I had nobody, I would go and live in the Yukon. But
Well, leprechauns have been around a lot longer than gnomes in folklore anyway, so what I can tell.
has Manda fallen asleep? Has her Wi-Fi give out?
That's disappointing because, I was
She's
going to
either
say with the
frozen or bored.
I'm
the
sleeping.
question about what does a leprechaun taste like, I figured she'd be the only one here to tell us.
Bacon.
Bacon!
Wait, what? I cut out. It's not my fault. What?
Can you taste bacon, Manda?
Yes.
Very good.
Moving on.
Aunt Jer says leprechaun shit. Orla says my butt. Oh, wait there. Someone said Ireland and I missed it.
Well, my answer to
Ricardo's
the
in
tweet
Ireland.
yesterday was, I think it was pixie dust and sawdust or something. Pixie dust and things we brush up off the floor.
Their gold comes from their organization of secret leprechauns, who have over the centuries had members who could infiltrate the Queen's Guard, and they've been slowly exchanging the crown jewels for brass.
That fits.
Very much so. Sammy says, I believe at the end of MathPig's rainbow. I don't know. Well, this is from Sammy, so MathPig's rainbow could well be a euphemism.
Probably.
Doc says, leprechauns earn their gold by selling the same rainbow over and over. You know, to keep it.
Well, I would just say that there's people who are really fucking dumb to buy rainbows in the first place. So I'm with the leprechauns on this one.
See, what you don't know is that the leprechauns enslave the gnomes and sex traffic them, and that's where they get the gold.
Is this where midget gold comes from?
Right, gnomes. Leprechauns have been around a lot longer than gnomes. They've got a right to it. Gnomes only
Leprechauns capture gnomes, taxidermy them, and sell them to you as garden fixtures.
That's horrific!
Yeah.
I see. I thought that they got their gold from leasing the rainbow for Pride Month.
Gnomes are one.
And they must be raking it in at the moment.
Yeah. No, I think gnomes only came about like in folklore in like the 15th century or something, where leprechauns go back to like Dark Age times in mythology. So the gnomes are they're the pretenders. So
The pretenders.
There's this Easter egg in one of the Battlefield games. I think it's like 4 or something, where if you do a certain thing, all of a sudden a gnome starts following you everywhere. So every time you turn around, there's just a gnome sitting on the ground with red eyes staring at you. Fucking scary. So gnomes are fucking freaky.
Yes. Ricardo says, where's the fossil record for that, Jeff?
I was talking about why would there be a fossil record in folklore, for fuck's sake?
And Jert says, they steal it from underneath children's pillows that was left by the tooth fairy. Why don't they just beat the tooth fairy up? Ola says, they're not selling the rainbows, they're renting them for parties. That means they must get to go to all the best parties.
Did you get all the racism out of your system?
Yeah, but we need a real answer. Where the hell does the gold come from?
The gold. Well,
Magic.
we're
answer was
alchemists.
real.
There you go. We're alchemists. I buy lead and I turn it into gold.
You understand that he never actually called you a leprechaun, so
I know.
I do this, that's on you.
I think by directly asking me where the gold does come from, he is implying that I am a leprechaun.
Hey, look,
I'm implying
come
that
on.
you're hiding one.
Come on,
There you go. I mean,
even
you
tried
are
to
wearing
give-
that fucking hat, though.
The
So.
worst thing is,
Ob-
wearing that
obviously
hat,
you have
all
the
I can
hat.
imagine is that with the beard. And with that hat and the beard, he looks like a leprechaun.
Do
Yes,
you have a pair of
exactly.
those little green short pants and a shillelagh?
Yep.
I want his 3D model to come so he can have the hat and the beard.
Math
If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and looks like a duck, what is it?
Crocodile!
Leprechaun.
A leprechaun, that's right.
MathPig, I hope you just note for historical purposes for this stream, I actually did try to give some context to leprechaun folklore rather than just make racist cracks. So I hope you appreciate that.
Oh no,
Yes,
totally
but
appreciate it, man.
You're getting dangerously close to being educational, and I will not have that on this show.
Okay, well, let's bring it back to be small. I'll order a leprechaun outfit. There you go. Manda's into roleplay. We'll order a leprechaun outfit.
Will it match the green bikini you showed me?
He's got a green bikini?
No, not it.
What's this?
Do they do leprechaun outfits on lovehoney.co.uk? No.
Honey, please, no. Just no, okay? No,
Somebody says
it's
leprechauns
leprechaun.
obviously
Thank
have
you,
better
though.
tech than gnomes. Just look at the clothes. Apparently, stealing from children is more evil. Wes says making money from selling the souls of gingers. That's why they set up in Ireland.
Oh, they missed the fucking trick then going to Ireland because they should have set up in Scotland.
Scotland.
Yeah.
All this says because if you go back far enough, the Tooth Fairy is a Norse god Loki, and I don't think you're ready for that fight. Oh, I missed a trick. I missed something there. Maybe the goal is the souls of gingers. I'm with MathPig. Leprechaun lives matter. That's terrible.
Hey, MathPig, as bad as this is, I have a friend with a Mick last name, and he's 5'3". Just imagine what he gets every day.
I have a Mick last name and I'm 5'10".
Are you though?
Shut
Are
up!
you really 5'10"? I've never actually seen you. Are you only 3.5 foot tall?
He didn't put that in. He didn't. MathPig didn't. He just said 5'10". Now he didn't specify feet or inches. Just for the record.
Is that with the hat?
I was 5'11" before I shaved my head.
Oh, geez, I thought you were going to say before you shaved your feet.
I'm not a hobbit. Leprechauns and hobbits might be closely related through a far distant ancestor, but you know they're not the same.
Do you have
Wait,
a
are
precious-
leprechauns a long-lost tribe of Denisovans that somehow managed to wander all the way into the Isles?
Yes.
It's a definite
Obviously.
possibility. They do like their islands.
They got trapped there hunting for snakes. Right. Second to last question for today.
Wait, did you answer, Dave?
Did I answer?
Do we really want to hear Dave
on
answer
this
this?
question. Right. Question 759. Would you rather have the tip of your little finger removed or watch the musical movie Cats every day for a year?
Finger removed. Right, be right back.
Does that
MathPig.
come with refreshments of the intoxicating variety?
No. Just Coke.
If I give up the entire finger, would we get rid of Andrew Lloyd Webber completely?
No.
I like the music from Phantom. Come on. So, having raised a child, having to watch things like The Wiggles and fucking Dora the Explorer all morning, every day for fucking like 5 or 6 years, I think I could handle a year of watching Cats. I'll stick with that. It's fine. I'll live.
Have you seen the movie Cats?
No, and I've seen the previews and stuff. It looks terrifying, but I don't care. I've seen enough horrific shit in children's programming that I can handle 2 hours a day of that bullshit.
I heard a story about the making of the movie Cats. That it was released and then it was pulled right away and re-released later. That what that delay was all about was that somebody realized that the cat outfits were so real cat-like, even though they're certainly not, but that they had to take the film and digitally remove everybody's asshole.
I was going to ask who paid that much money to get feature-length furry porn. Poorly digitally animated.
Bad furry porn.
Yeah, Dave knows good furry porn, so he knows.
I read Reddit.
I just feel bad for Idris Elba. Just when his career in America was starting to take off, he was in that movie. I haven't heard a word from him since.
Oh, I love Idris. He's a pretty man.
Oh, I've missed what everyone said. Santi says finger. Ricardo says cats. Sammy says finger, even though I've seen it. Jenny.
That's an indictment. Finger, absolutely. Absolutely. I do not want to watch that crap.
I'm going to go to the cinema every day with Manda for the year and watch the movie with her as well.
Sounds like a plan.
No.
Yes.
No?
That's not permitted.
Yes.
You have to watch the movie. You're not allowed to have your eyes closed.
Well, we've a whole year we can watch 5 minutes, and then we'll maybe watch another 5 minutes later. There's a whole year we can watch 5-minute intervals.
You're very optimistic, aren't you? I hear she's very skilled. 2.5 minutes maximum.
Oh, man, if you're lucky.
I'm not sure if that was a dig or a compliment.
Right. Last question for today. Can't breathe. Question 760. Would you rather have the neck of an ostrich or the legs of an ostrich?
Hate your last question. Fucking hate them.
Ilya screamed finger to the other one.
To possess, to be part of, or to eat?
It's the last question. It's always, you would be transformed to having one of these.
Okay.
No. Google corrected to that.
Here, it's fucking copied and pasted now, so if the spelling mistake is there, this one time, it's not my fault.
I've
Well,
already
how
got
did
great
it
legs,
be?
so I'll take the neck.
I'll take the neck. See, I like the idea of the neck. Look around. You'd be able to look right the way around.
But you look insane.
Yeah.
Plus, you think an ostrich.
But you think you're going to look better with the legs?
carry a human head.
I'll get that jewelry.
Okay.
The
Well,
long
that
neck
sounds
jewelry.
good. Yeah.
Fuck no, I'm going with a Shakespearean ruffle. I'm drawing
A
attention to
ruffle!
that bitch.
An ostrich size ruffle.
Sir Walter Raleigh, Sir Walter Ostrich.
Andrea says legs. Ilya says legs. My neck is too sensitive to be anything different. So legs. See, the advantage of the legs is that you can run fast. They've got weird legs. You can run very fast. But I still think the neck.
That depends on what kind of feet you have at the bottom of them.
You got the ostrich feet.
Okay, I'd go for the legs because I don't have any feathers on me, and the legs are already naked on an ostrich.
I'm gonna say the legs because there's too many people with the necks of ostriches who bury their heads in the sand already.
But
you can be one that is above them and not bury your neck in the sand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doc
but the
says, I
stereotype
totally
would
want the
still
neck.
still be assigned.
Just for the hickeys. Sammy says, would love the speed, but the claws would be horrific in bed, so I'm going with the neck. Would help with cunnilingus, I imagine.
Well, I take that this is a global transformation, so your partner.
No,
will
it's
have
just
those
you.
It's
just
just
you.
me. Oh. Do I get the feathers too?
No.
Can I put in a special order?
No. Your bum, in this scenario,
the butt feather,
the top of your legs would look like a plucked chicken.
Yeah.
I could just put a pair of trousers on. Nobody would ever know.
Yes, they would. That's the advantage.
I've
Sandy
had
says,
ostrich
next.
burgers. They're really good.
Are they? You're gonna eat your legs now. I didn't put that in the question. I mean, that wouldn't have been unusual, but.
Have you seen pictures of a person holding an ostrich drumstick? It's ridiculous.
Don't they have that on the? There's a documentary about it. Flintstones. Santi says next time I can wear one of those African necklaces. Andrea says ostrich legs would be as sexy on a human, at least more than the neck. I don't reckon. I think they'd be like bird legs.
Dinosaur legs.
Yes, that's what it is, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Amanda.
Legs.
Really?
I would like to replace my legs anyway, so go with the legs.
Fair enough.
At least you'd be able to
Do
get
they
up on
scale
the-
proportionately with your frame, or are they ostrich-sized legs?
They would be proportional to your frame.
Would I still be able to wear pantyhose?
Who the fuck
Yes, but it's
likes
more likely
wearing
to
pantyhose? What
snag.
is wrong with you, Jenny?
Sometimes you gotta, conform.
No.
Once
Yeah,
in a while.
No, thanks. Nope.
You wouldn't need heels. You could just put that hind toe down.
Ooh. Yeah, but your feet would be really rough on linoleum then.
Heels are too.
Could I still get a pedicure?
You could try.
Would
Would they
that be
still charge me
optional
the
or
same since there's
necessary?
only one?
Oh. Ola says, so would your knees be backwards? Yes, your knees would be backwards. That's a common feature of ostrich legs.
Actually, that's their ankle.
Yes,
Oh.
but
Mhm.
you know what?
Yeah.
Yes,
It's correct.
it is. But you get the point. People call them knees.
Well, people are wrong, as usual.
Yes.
It's their fault for having them in places that look like knees.
There you go with common sense.
There you go with There you go, Dave. Science denial again.
If you promote the deception, you promote the ignorance.
Yeah.
The deception.
Yeah.
There's a conspiracy to hide ostrich knees.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not convinced you're any better than a flat earther, Dave. I'm sorry.
Oh, in for a penny, in for a pound. Yeah, it's flat.
I'm getting a look of death from Manda right now after saying that.
Jeff's convinced me. His arguments are too great. Right. We should go. I want to breathe. I want to thank MathPig for taking over streaming, given my connection's decided to be shitty as fuck.
It came back at the end, though. You haven't cut out in a while.
I managed to switch everything over to my Vodafone connection.
Thanks, MathPig, for saving this from being a complete disaster.
We were only muted for like 2 minutes.
Disaster.
We were only muted for 2 minutes.
That was on you, though. So.
But it wouldn't have been a MathPig stream without it.
I was setting up the scrolling questions.
The show was missed.
I gotta say, thanks, MathPig. You made the morning work.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Right, on that note, I would say thank you to Manda, to MathPig,
Oink.
to Jeff,
All right.
to Jenny, to Ike, to everyone in the chat for sticking around through all the problems and for sticking around till the end. And we will catch you tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.